What is going on, guys? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys another NFL episode for Week 7. Going to be talking about the main slate here on Sunday. We got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, I will do it as quickly, short and sweet as possible. These videos usually are only 6 to 10 minutes. Got another giveaway here for my website, free Guru Credits 20. Free Guru Credits for all you guys. Go to the shop page, go to the coupon bar, type in all caps Week 7 Guru, and you'll get 20 free Guru Credits. It should automatically upload into your account after a couple of seconds. Like this video. That's all I ask of you guys. Like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Love giving all these credits to you guys. I just ask that you give back a little bit and just, like the video to get me more exposure to YouTube and helping out all you guys. That's what I strive to do. So for this slate here on Sunday, it's actually looking really, really good. A lot of decently high scoring games, a handful of them over 45 over-unders. We got some decent value, not the best value right now. Great studs to pay up for. But there's not a lot of cheap guys to look at. Things always kind of fall into place as we get closer to Sunday. A lot of the questionable guys you see during the week here, like limited in practice or doesn't practice, you can't really over speculate on that. 9 out of 10 times, a guy who's limited in practice, they'll end up playing on Sunday. So don't overreact to that until we get more news towards Sunday morning. So for quarterback, there's a ton of great quarterbacks out there. Even though Josh Allen is not on this slate, it doesn't matter. I have Joe Burrow slotted in here for my QB in this video. Fantastic matchup at home against the Falcons defense, arguably the worst passing defense in the league. Burrow just went off last week, 300 passing yards. Also had a fantastic pocket presence, rushing touchdown too. 32 fantasy points, by far his best game of the year. He's 14 total TDs through 6 games. He's looking really good. Hooked up with Jamar Chase a couple of times, so you could pair him with Chase as well. It's just very expensive. You can't look past Justin Herbert with a fantastic matchup at home against the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense is bad. This has the highest over-under on the week at 50.5. Eckler is poised to absolutely destroy the Seahawks here. Worst rushing defense, can pass catch. But he's 9,500. So Herbert at 8,100 coming off of a very bad week against the Broncos. Tough matchup. No passing touchdowns. Maybe this drives his ownership down a little bit. This is a great matchup here. We all know how good Justin Herbert is. You can't react to an off week against the Broncos. He's a guy you got to look at. And then also, can't ignore Derek Carr against the Texans with Davante Adams. And you can't ignore Dak Prescott coming back, only 7,500. This is another huge over-under against the Lions. The Lions are just, bad on defense. Probably the worst overall defense in the league through the first 6 weeks. It's really been Jared Goff and that offense that has kept them in the games. Prescott could easily throw all over this Lions defense. And the Cowboys, they're not good enough to blow out the Lions, in my opinion. They are at home. You got Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, but those are always toss-ups. They should rely on Prescott throwing the ball to my wide receiver play in this video. We'll get into that in a second. But I do advise you, if you pick, any of these studs, Carr, Herbert, Burrow, even Lamar Jackson, I strongly advise you to pair them with the stud that they're with. Because if they have a good game, chances are the stud on their team is going to have a good game. If you're picking Lamar Jackson, you probably want to spend up on Mark Andrews. If you're picking, Mahomes, can't ignore Mahomes. He's always in a good spot, but a tougher matchup against 49ers. If you pick Burrow, good idea to pair him with Chase. If you pick Herbert, good idea to pair him with Mike Williams. You're going to get low ownership on Mike Williams this week because he had a bad week 6. If you pick Derek Carr, good idea to pair him up with Davante Adams. Dak Prescott, good to pair him up with CeeDee Lamb. But that'll sum up the quarterbacks. There's a handful of them to pick from. Running back, not a ton of cheap guys out there. You have your sub 6K A.J. Dillon, but the Packers offense, a lot of people were on A.J. Dillon last week. He just kind of disappointed. Might get some good touches, might score. I'm looking at Brian Robinson on the other side here in Washington. He looked like the solidified number one guy for the first time last week. 17 rushes, 60 yards, and a rushing touchdown. They got Antonio Gibson too, but he seems like more of a, throwing a pass catcher, kind of like McKisnick. Brian Robinson is looking like their ground and pound guy. The guy that's going to be out there on first and second down, a red zone threat to score. He scored last week. And Gibson was returning kickoffs for them. So that clearly shows he's not their number one running back anymore, because if he's your number one running back, you don't put him on kick returns. Brian Robinson, 6,100, great value here. This is also big because he is a red zone guy too. He's a big guy, has a ton of rest because they played Thursday Night Football in week 6. So they lap a week and then play on this Sunday. So that's what, Friday, Saturday, 3 more days. So 10 days rest. Robinson, 17 rushes. He's probably going to get more next game. I could see him with 20 touches, whether it's, 18 rushes, 2 catches, 20 rushes, 0 catches. Should be right around 20 touches. So 6,100. I like this play a lot. We'll see how things develop towards Sunday. Wide receiver, let's go to CeeDee Lamb. All the research and projections I've looked at so far has CeeDee Lamb scoring the most points over any other wide receiver this week. There's a lot of good studs at wide receiver this week. CeeDee Lamb should be able to torch the Lions. He is one of my favorite wide receivers in the entire league. This week, great value, 7,700. He should be over 8,000. He's got Dak Prescott back. We could see some big things from CeeDee Lamb on Sunday. Could end up being the highest scoring wide receiver on the slate. I would not be surprised. And then for tight end, let's go to my guy, Greg Dulcich. I had mentioned him in my DFS chat because they sat, I don't even want to attempt his last name. They sat Okwe Bunham, I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. When inactive, they loved Dulcich in training camp. He got his first start last week because he was hurt with a hamstring injury or something, and he was seeing a lot of snaps. Now, he only had 3 targets, 2 catches, but he's their number one receiver, and he's only 4,000 on FanDuel. Bare minimum price. You can do so many things saving this kind of money. Had that big touchdown. He's got a game under his belt. I do think he's going to be more comfortable going out for game 2. Russell Wilson will be looking towards him. More of a red zone guy too, as a big tight end. He looked really good though, blocking and running routes. So I think he's going to be even more involved this week with this offense. He seems like the go-to guy for the Broncos. Take advantage of this price because tight ends usually stink. I don't love any other tight end on this slate unless you spend up. Like, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to say that you like Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce. It's just you never have the money to spend 8,000+ on a tight end because there's just not enough value elsewhere. George Kittle went up $1,000. You can keep an eye on Darren Waller and Gerald Everett. If they're out, maybe their backups could be plays. But there's just no one. Tight ends kind of stink. I love spending $4,000 on Greg Dulcich. That's just a fantastic value play. I'll be looking towards him on Sunday, and I advise that you do too. And then for defense, 4,000, decent play here against the Texans. The Texans are the Texans. Davis Mills has looked like borderline the worst quarterback in the NFL so far this year. It's really been Dameon Pierce that has done anything positive for this offense. They could easily have a nice game at home against this Texans offense. 4,000, very affordable price. Like I've said in other videos, though, defense, bit of a dart throw. You never know if there's going to be a scoop and score. You never know if, a pick six. But I do think this is a good spot. Crosby should get a sack or 2 here on Davis Mills. He's looked really good for them. Good price, good play at 4,000. Las Vegas Raiders. That'll sum it up for this week's video, guys. Again, use that promo code Week7Guru, all caps, for 20 free Guru credits. Like this video. I do really appreciate it. Let's get after it in Week 7 for the main slate. Until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I am signing off. See ya.